Hey there, YouTube. Cheers. We're back with part two here of the video records that I got today. So here is the pile of LPs. Plus, we'll unbox those two orders from Discogs that appear to at least have some albums in there. Not sure if there's LPs and 45s in there or not. But let's go on. I haven't even had a chance to sleeve these up yet. So the first one, this one is really nice. This is Jimmy McGriff and Junior Parker on the Groove Merchant label. This, and I'd never seen this before on the Groove Merchant label. I had never seen this before, where Jimmy McGriff is paired up with a singer with that bluesy kind of style. The guy at the record store showed me this today. Actually played it while I was in there. He said, because I was kind of grooving to it. He said, "You'd never guess who this was," and I couldn't guess. But he had it in the back for apparently a few years. He had 3 copies. This was the last one. I hadn't been to the record store in probably 2 or 3 weeks. So this was the last one. This was a pleasant surprise. And he gave it to me for only $5. Really great album. We played part 1 in the record store. I'm going to absolutely listen to part 2. Here is the only 12-inch single. Again, normally I just buy promo 12-inch singles, but I'll make an exception every now and then. I think I may already have this one, but it's not as clean as this one. Phil Collins, Studio on a 12-inch single. And this one is in really great shape. This is also a upgrade for me. DeBarge in a Special Way on LP. Really great album. A Dream on here is one of my favorite songs, as is Time Will Reveal, Love Me in a Special Way. Really great album. This is an upgraded copy for me. And again, today, I was very blessed in the sense that I got music from all different types of genre today. So I was really excited. I'm really excited to put the needle to the vinyl here and listen. The Doobie Brothers Farewell Tour. I'd never seen this one before, but it is a live album. Not sure when it came out. Didn't know it existed, but I'm a Doobie Brothers fan, and it's on the Warner Brothers label. It's got on here 1983, so from 1983, and it is a gatefold. The cover is not in the best of condition, a little worn, but the records were in really great shape. He had some Yes, and I found some Yes albums that I didn't have, beginning with Drama. And glad to get this one. When did this come out? 1980. Yeah, I think this was the one right before 90125. So glad to get that one. And Relayer. And this is another great one. I think this is later 70s. No, 74. I have this one already, but this is an upgraded copy for me. And then, Yes, Big. I wasn't familiar with this one. I think this is early 80s. That's in a picture, Steve. I'm not going to come out. Take that out. Take the time. But this looked interesting, and so I did pick that one up. The Temptations with a Lot of Soul. This one sounded good. I normally don't do this. Is an early 80s reissues when they were reissuing everything on the Motown label, regardless of the label that it came out on initially. But he had a couple of these. He had this and Al Green's Greatest Hits. I didn't get that one because I have almost all of Al Green's albums, I think. But this one, I Know I'm Losing You, is one of my favorite songs. And so it sounded pretty decent. He put it on the turntable. It sounded pretty decent. I don't have a good copy of this. I think I have a copy that's just kind of worse for wear. And so glad to get this one. When did this album originally come out? Yep, 1967. So that was a great album. Now getting into some jazz that I got. This is the Red Garland Quintet, All Morning Long, with some great artists on here. This is a really nice album. It's got John Coltrane tenor sax, Donald Byrd on trumpet, the great Red Garland on piano, George Joyner on bass, and Art Taylor, one of my favorite drummers, on the drums. And so this one, this is an original jazz classic that was issued in the mid 80s. Those are really super expensive now. This had a $25 price tag on it, but again, I didn't pay the 25. Great album. Here's another OJC original jazz classic that I was able to pick up today. This had a $25 price tag on it too. Kenny Burrell, Jimmy Rainey, Donald Byrd, also Mal Waldron on here, Art Taylor again. It's called Kenny Burrell, Jimmy Rainey, Two Guitars. Really great album. And I was really glad to get this one as well. Trying to keep the time down on this. Gene Ammons, funky and early pressing of this on that Prestige label, that blue Prestige label. This is a really great album. There's a song on here, and of course I can't think of the name of it. And while I have it out, let's just go over the personnel on here. Kenny Burrell on guitar, of course Gene Ammons on tenor sax, Art Farmer, the great on trumpet, Mal Waldron on the piano, Art Taylor on drums, Jackie McLean on alto sax, and the great and I think underrated Doug Watkins on the bass. Pint Size, yeah, the first song on here, and the title track, Funky, I think are some absolute dangerously good records, and so glad to add this to the collection. The cover, as you can see, this is an original pressing, not a reissue. Well, an early pressing, I don't know if it's an original. A little worse for wear, but the record was in pretty decent shape. The great Tad Dameron and his orchestra, The Magic Touch on Riverside. This is another original jazz classic LP. Glad to get this. Also, I just feel like anytime we discuss jazz, I'm obligated to go over the personnel on the album. And this includes Bill Evans, Johnny Griffith, Joe Wilder, Clark Terry, and Philly Joe Jones. And so this is another great album, one of those mid-80s jazz reissues. Pharoah Sanders, Deaf, Dumb, and Blind on the great Impulse label. This is another early pressing that is a really great album. Only heard this once. I don't remember what I liked on here, but I do remember liking a few of the songs on there. So that's all of the jazz. Then Barry White, Let the Music Play. Really great album. This has, you see the Trouble with Me on here, and Let the Music Play in the 21st Century label. Oh, I forgot I got two 12-inch singles. Michelet Nice Tea. And so this is another great tune. This is an upgraded copy for me. Blue Magic, Mystic Dragons, Summer Snow, There's Something About Love on here. Great tunes on that Atco label. This is a really great upgraded copy. The copy that I have, the record is okay, but the cover is really in bad shape. Richard Pryor, can't say the name of it, on YouTube from the Laugh Records, but I'll put it up there. You can read it for yourself. Don't say it out loud, please. On the Laugh label. This record is really dusty. It's going to need to be cleaned up, but I'm pretty sure we can make that one work. This is another one. This is an upgraded copy for me. Cowboys to Girls by The Intruder. The covers in two different piece is just about holding on. I have a decent cover, and the record though is in pretty decent shape, surprisingly. So I'm just gonna pair those up. Pleasant surprise to find this one, only $10. Sunshine Anderson, remember her from the early 2000s? What was the title of this? Your Woman. She had that song, Heard It All Before. Finding anything from the 90s or early 2000s on vinyl can be really super expensive. This is a double album. Um, and so Heard It All Before. I'm actually going to post this one uh, probably in the next few days. I, I have that CD. I've had it over 20 years probably. I don't know that I ever listened to any of the other records on there. And so I will have an opportunity to do that now. And then lastly, The Who by The Numbers. This looks like an earlier pressing on the MCA label. Really nice album. Squeeze Box is on here. That's one of the songs that I really do like by The Who. And so I don't think I have this album. And so glad to get it added. And let's just unbox these two boxes here from Discogs. I usually use my left hand, but it's just awkward for the way I'm sitting, and so I'm trying not to cut myself. Alright, they boxed it up pretty well. Let's see what's inside. Oh, something jazz. I think I know what it is now, but I'm not 100% sure. Yep, it was just the one record in here. And it didn't come sleeved, so I'll have to sleeve it up. Just Coolin'. Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. Great LP. This is a reissue. I want to say this is a 2019 or 2020 reissue in that Blue Note anniversary series. And so this one, mint condition copy. This is a really great album. Art Blakey is probably my favorite jazz drummer of all times. Includes the great Lee Morgan, underrated. There is a great film called I Called Him Morgan that was done about 3 or 4 years ago, that included an interview with his former common law wife, I guess you can call. He had an incredible story. I don't want to tell too much of it, so forward it a little bit if you don't want to hear. But just to get to add a little bit of insight to some of this, Lee Morgan was a revered jazz trumpeter in the early '60s. He was young. They said he was maybe the next Miles Davis. He was that good. And then he fell into the trap of heroin. Some said it was when he was a member of Art Blakey's band that he, using it with the other band members, that he got hooked. But anyway, he ended up homeless on the street in New York. His the woman that he would come to meet, named Helen, I don't remember her last name, but she left the South, left her kids when she got pregnant young. Moved up north. She was known as like the party house. She always had something cooking. Musicians can go there and get something to eat and relax. And so he didn't even have a coat. He pawned his coat and I think his shoes in the winter. So she got him a coat and some shoes. And eventually she helped him to get clean off the drugs and encouraged him to start his band again because he had lost everything. And then it took an absolute turn for the worse. Eventually, just as she saved his life, she took his life away too. And it was an interesting story that I didn't know of, and I would encourage you all to watch if you are a jazz fan. Again, this album absolutely great. Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers just cooling. Again, Lee Morgan on trumpet, Hank Mobley on tenor sax, Bobby Timmons on piano, Jimmy Merritt on bass, and the great Art Blakey on the drums. And here's another box. Again, not sure what's in here. So we will open it and find out. Oh, I like it when they put old album covers in there. Maybe they're out of cardboard. Okay, so let's take this off. Peter Nero, not a fan, heard of him, but there is some 45s and LPs in here. Okay, I know what order it is now. And everything in one sleeve. And so we'll do the promo 45s first. The Jackson 5, I'll Be There. I think this is mono stereo. Both coming in at 3 minutes 36 seconds. There's a lot of stickers on the label, and it's in an old Motown sleeve here from the 80s. But this one, and this one gets a little pricey. I think this one was about $15, but I just splurged on it. I'll Be There is one of my favorite songs of all time. This one was inexpensive. Miami Sound Machine, The Words Get in the Way. This should be a double stereo side. It is. Both coming in at 3 minutes 23 seconds. Great tune, one of my all-time favorites. And then Michael Jackson, Human Nature. I think that Words Get in the Way was maybe $2 or $3. This one was, I think, $7. This is an edit of the LP version. This comes in at $408. I think the LP version is around $430 or something, with the good picture sleeve. So glad to get that. And then the Rod Stewart. This is a replacement. The one that I already have is somehow got warped. Do You Think I'm Sexy on a 12-inch version. This is not a promo. This is a stock copy. The promo gets a little pricey. I already had a promo. I just replaced it with this one. I don't remember how much I paid for this. Maybe $10. The promo was a little bit more. I just wasn't willing to spend it, especially when I paid $15 for that 45. And then lastly, some classic ZZ Hill from the mid-70s. Let's Make a Deal is the album. On the Columbia label. I am a big ZZ Hill fan. I believe that he was very underrated. He didn't get very popular until when he signed with Malaco Records in the early 80s, and then released a few really great albums, then passed away in a car accident. But this is a great album just the same. It wasn't very expensive. I don't remember how much I paid for it. I don't think it was even $5 or around $5. But that's all that's left. Is really good on here. Need You by My Side and Near But Yet So Far are just some of the songs on this LP that I like. And so thanks for spending a little bit of time with me. Hope everyone is doing well. We'll end it here. Have a wonderful and blessed weekend. I pray that everyone, again, is doing well, taking care of yourself, taking care of each other. And let's just do the best that we can. Have a blessed day. Thank you. Cheers.